They have a bad attitude.
I don't know why the Democrats lost. I don't understand why the Democrats lost.
Well, people will be writing books about it for years.
Bill Maher brought on William Shatner live on the Club Random Podcast on the Club Random Podcast YouTube channel, and Bill Maher just had to absolutely shatter William Shatner's political view. And man, let me tell you, this William Shatner guy, just after watching this short clip from the podcast, he just seems so out of touch with what he says in this clip. But Bill Maher just had to absolutely shred him and put him in his place when William Shatner said this to Bill. Let's get into this clip here where Bill Maher has to absolutely shut down William Shatner's political view live on the Club Random Podcast on the Club Random Podcast YouTube channel.
You're beyond politics.
Am I?
Don't you think?
Well, I hope so. I'll take your word for it.
I don't think people see you as
A political person?
Yeah, well, as someone who, they may imagine, okay, he lives and works in Hollywood and Canadian and, probably a liberal, but, I don't feel like most people in this country hate, especially the conservatives, quite frankly, are much more tolerant of people they don't like. It's the liberals who are purists, especially the ones in this town. They're the ones who, like, if you don't agree with me 1,000,000%, I don't even want to know you. That's one of the reasons they lost. They have a bad attitude.
I don't know why the Democrats lost. I don't understand why the Democrats lost.
Well, people will be writing books about it for years, many reasons. Part of it was, Biden should not have stayed on so long.
That I understand. But inflation, prices have come down, the economy is good. I mean, I don't know why they voted against her.
Well,
against the party.
I certainly could go on and on about that. But basically, she was not a great candidate, let's be honest. When they asked...
Why isn't she a great candidate? She combined several trends of thought here. Black, woman.
That's not a candidate. Those are... that's identity politics. That's one of the Democrats'
those are elements.
Nobody elects. I mean, yeah, people are tribal. There are some people who will vote just for the person who looks like them or is like them. But obviously, I think this proves you got to go a lot further than that. You can't just be woman, black person. I mean, Trump got a quarter of black men. That's 25%.
I know.
He didn't do much better generally because the women are very much against him, but he killed it with Latinos. If there's any great irony in this election, is that the guy who came down the escalator 10 years ago talking about the rapists, they keep giving him more of their votes. And again, I understand this.
Why? Tell me what you understand.
I will.
I think Bill Maher really nailed it here, while William Shatner just seemed so lost and out of touch. And William Shatner says he doesn't understand why the Democrats lost, but then he just basically answers his own question by giving the reason himself without even realizing it. And that's when Bill had to step in and just make it clear. It's not just about gas prices or the economy. The real problem is the attitude. Bill points out how a lot of liberals, especially in places like Hollywood, act like if you don't agree with them on every single thing, they don't want anything to do with you. That kind of thinking just kind of turns people off. And Bill Maher also calls out the issue with identity politics. He's saying just being a black woman isn't a campaign, it's just a label. And voters want more than that. Meanwhile, Trump, the guy who started his campaign saying offensive stuff about immigrants, is somehow getting more support from Latino and black voters. And instead of facing that reality, people like William Shatner just act confused, like we just seen here in this clip. And Bill sees what's really going on. He's honest about it, even if it makes people feel kind of uncomfortable. But that's why his voice still matters, while William Shatner sounds like he's just stuck in the past. Let me know what you guys think about this in the comments.
Democrats don't understand their own constituencies. If you're a Mexican American, who do you fear taking your job? The guy who just came in through the border. Of course they like the guy who says, I'm going to keep everybody out.
But he didn't say I'm keeping everybody out.
Well,
I'm going to send everybody out.
Okay, but the Democrats could have won this election in a walk, I think. Not a walk, but I think they could have won it if Biden got out earlier. They had a true primary season to find the best candidate, not just one whose turn was it, who, by the way, before they anointed her, nobody was sort of on the page that she was very good at being a candidate. Or
She failed the first time.
Okay, so if they had done that, and then the pointless reversing of Trump's border policy, which was remain in Mexico and not everything counts as asylum. The Democrats' fatal flaw is they always have to look like the good people. So they reversed that and let in too many people. Not that we shouldn't be a nation of immigrants, but it just was a lawless shit show for years. And people noticed, and then they started to send them, the Democrats' hypocrisy was called out because the people in the northern cities who were like, we welcome everybody. And then the governors on the border states were like, okay, well, here they are. Enjoy this busload.
What hasn't been talked about to the extent I will be is the unrest given global warming of millions of people wanting to get somewhere else. And somewhere else is like the United States. There are millions of people that will in the near future want to leave their country because they can't live in it.
Yes. And look, I mean, it's going to happen here too. We could lose Florida.
Well, we will.
And if
eventually.
Anybody knows about losing Florida, it's Democrats. By the way, Florida, which used to be a swing state, is now just bright red. And you know why it is?
Him?
No.
The governor?
The influx of Latinos. So, again, the irony of the Republicans accusing the Democrats, I don't think the Democrats are doing this, of purposely letting in all these Latin people to vote for Democrats. And then, in Florida, it worked out the other way.
Yeah.
They voted for the Republicans.
Well, the best laid plans everywhere, anytime, anywhere. What did he say? You have a plan, you get hit in the face, and
that's Mike Tyson. Yeah.
Bill Maher is just one of the few voices on the left who is willing to say what others are afraid to admit. The Democratic Party is out of touch with the voters it claims to represent. Just look at what happened to Florida. It used to be a swing state. Now it's solid red. And it's not because people suddenly became hardcore Republicans. It's because the policies stopped making sense to them. And Bill Maher pointed out how reversing Trump's border policies just opened up the door to a mess. It wasn't about being heartless. It was about keeping things under control. When cities that bragged about being welcoming started pushing back once migrants arrived, that exposed the double standard. He also talked about how Democrats skipped a real primary and just handed the notation to some voters who weren't excited about it. That's not how you win people over, and Bill Maher isn't sugarcoating anything at all. He's just saying it how it is. And that's exactly why his voice just cuts through all the noise. Let me know what you guys think about this topic in the comments, and I'll see you guys in the next video.